waiting to board a train from Igwebe Station in Igwebe local government area of Edo State to Warri in Delta State, while many others sustained injuries. The spokesperson for the Edo State Police Command, Chidi Nwabuzo, confirmed the incident in a statement. The command added that bush combing and rescue operations had begun to rescue those that were kidnapped. The President of the Republic of Ghana, Ado Akufo-Addo, and Wamkele Mene, who is the Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat, are set to host the maiden edition of the Africa Prosperity Dialogue Series, which will hold from Thursday 26th to Saturday 28th January 2023, as an initiative of the Africa Prosperity Network. This event is expected to bring Africa's political and business leaders together to think, plan, and collaborate towards building the world's largest single market of Africa's 1.4 billion people. The dialogues will create an annual platform for the continent leaders to spearhead collaborative implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. And that's it for the business headlines at this time. Let's quickly take a break, and when we return, I'll be taking you through the market roundup for today, how the market ended last week. We've seen that the Nigerian stock market ended about 20% in the green for 2022. That's not bad, at least from 2020. For the past 3 years, the Nigerian stock market has been given a decent return. I'll be giving you more details on that and many more when we return from this break. Do join us again. All right, welcome back. At this point, I will be craving your indulgence for us to go for a live broadcast at this point. But don't go anywhere. Still stay hooked to African Independent Television, and trust me that I'll bring you this interview again. The interview I will be having with who is the fiscal policy partner.
The council backed the and truncate the ongoing electoral process.
Break. My guest will be joining me at Taiwo Oyedele. So let's do things a little bit different. Let's quickly take a break. And when we come back, my guest will be joining me.
Untold. We restored democracy. We initiated due process. We created the EFCC and ICPC. We brought Nigeria out of debt by achieving $18 billion worth of relief and $30 billion overall reduction. We revived the rail system. We upgraded agriculture. We brought in the mobile phone and digitalized Nigeria. Under the PDP, the Nigerian economy was the... We are putting in the work and refreshing our drive to rescue and rebuild Nigeria. Together, let's make it happen. PDP. Power to the people. And refreshing our drive to rescue and rebuild.
Hello, and welcome to the program. This is Moneyline with me, Nancy.
So we really have to keep thinking out of the box about how to get money to the least accessible in our society.
Everything has to be re-examined in our economy, in our health system.
We are also ensuring that government does not continue to manage this refinery, because government is not really equipped to manage refinery.
We need to come forward and do something different so that we move from the situation of looking at things from purely a consumptive approach to a productive environment.
The government and the people need to really agree on the need for a departure from business as usual.
We are now on a process of recovery. It is what I call a bumpy journey to an uncertain destination.
This is Moneyline with me, Nancy. Naji, it's so nice to know that you're joining us again today. This is Moneyline with me, Nancy. Welcome back to the program. My guest is joining me right now via Zoom. Taiwo Oyedele, who is a fiscal policy partner and Africa tax leader at Pricewaterhouse Coopers. Good morning, Mr. Oyedele, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Nancy. Happy New Year to you and Happy New Year to Nigerians.
Fantastic. Good to see you. January 9th. What do you think about that? Vis-a-vis, okay, let's start with that first, and I'll come back to other issues surrounding the redesigned currency. What do you think about that?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, today is the effective date of the commencement of the restrictions on
the redesigned currency.
Yeah, thank you very much. On withdrawal limit, which is now about 100,000 per individual, and then similar adjustment for companies. My take on it is that we all agree that we need to have a cashless society because it's good for our safety, it's good for economic planning. For small businesses, it can actually also help them to have, records to be able to access credit to expand their businesses. Because of printing naira, will be less by government. So the benefits are immense, and we cannot dispute that. Although we then have some reservations about the approach and whether we are ready, speed at which we seem to be running at the moment. Over the weekend, just in the past 2 days, and also during the Christmas period, we had significant challenges. I'm saying this also from my personal experience, trying to make payments. Everybody wants to cover your expenses. It could easily have a negative impact on the economy. And if you link that to the whole Naira redesign project, many people haven't even seen the new notes, and the deadline is supposed to be end of January, which seems very unrealistic to me because some of us took the old Naira we had to the bank, only to go back to the bank a few days later and we got the old Naira back. It's actually very annoying. I was at the bank, I think it was on Friday, and they said to me they don't have the new notes, so we can't run an economy like that. We know of other countries where if you are redesigning your currency, you have such that everybody if you are redesigning your current thing that looks like the old note at all. Like the old note at all. As a matter of fact, the CBN, brought the date forward. They said, well, it was going to commence 15th of December, and then they said, well, we're even ready. And they launched it, and there was a lot of media activities, but we only saw the money on social media. We didn't see the real one, even up till now. So I do think that we can do things differently. we can be more prepared, we can be more intentional, we can show a lot of thoughtfulness in how we manage the economy, become even worse. And there's the easy reference of what happened in India, so we are not making this up. These are real. If people can't carry out economic activities, it will then have implications for GDP growth rate as well as for our attempts to lead people out of poverty.
Okay, if we take a look at, I just wanted us to be clear that individuals can now withdraw up to 500,000 naira per week, while companies are to withdraw 5 million naira per week. Mr. Oyedele, if you can remember, just a few days to Christmas, the Apex Bank revised that cash limit from 100,000 naira to 500,000 naira per week for individuals and 5 million per week for companies. Now, my next question to you really is, are there really tax implications for this new cash limit?
Yes, there are tax implications for. Yes, there are tax implications for definitely everything. So, and you're right with the cash limit. You know, if you have 500,000 a week, it even means even though they have not indicated the daily limit, but for many businesses that or individuals have to use cash by the 50th of the month, or sorry, of the week, you are no longer eligible for withdrawal. Or you have to pay significant penalties. So the tax implications are enormous. In terms of the Naira redesign, some of the reasons why the CBN said they are redesigning the Naira is because of illicit funds that people stack up in different places that is not within the banking system. So when you are trying to redesign the notes, you're going to force people to bring out the currency. When I was looking at some of the publications of the CBN, one of my comments, which I think they picked up subsequently, was to say, if you're going to exceed the limit of, say, cash withdrawal, and you're saying bring XYZ before I can allow you to withdraw more, I didn't see initially anything to do with tax identification, but now they've included it when they revised the limit to 500,000 naira per individual per week. Because what that means is we are doing some transactions, we need to be aware of it. If it's liable to tax, we need you to pay your taxes. If people have illicit funds, that they've kept somewhere, and they don't want to lose the money, and they are bringing it out into the banking system so they can have access to the new redesigned notes, then we need to know what they are doing. And if they haven't paid taxes on those income, then they need to pay tax on it. And I need to remind our audience that when it comes to tax matters, it's irrelevant whether the source of the money is legal or whether it's illegitimate. It doesn't matter. The tax law would collect tax on you. Even if the money was stolen, we collect the tax first, and then we ask you, by the way, where did you get the money from? If we need to then pass you on to the EFCC, and then you go and answer the questions around corruption. So, and even for the withdrawal limit, some of the tax implications include the fact that many small business owners will not have the ability to transact in cash, which is what we have largely at the moment, because their customers will have limits as to how much cash they can carry around. That means that they will then have to do a lot of things online, using bank transfers, using payment cards, using POS, and that will provide a trade-off, such that many of them that are not tax compliant now, the tax authorities will have the information to be able to track them down. This would also apply to even big companies and also individuals to also an extent. So what that means is everyone needs to now try to see what they can do. First, to understand what their obligations are, particularly when it comes to tax matters. And then secondly, to be able to take steps to comply so that they are not caught napping, because when you get into trouble with the taxman in defaulting with your obligations, not only will you pay the taxes, you may be liable to penalties, and they are often significant.
Name change got to do with anything? What if you change the name? What will happen? And some of the other proposals, I see that you're smiling there. If you change the name, but the system is still, or perhaps I may not know. You could give me an analysis of that. What else again are they proposing? Let me quickly see where I jotted it down. I know you are the experts in this. Proposal of 50% tax increase to companies involved in gas flaring and what have you. So just take me through that and why we've not seen a Finance Act now. And let's also let our viewers know that at least we've seen Finance Act since 2020. So we've had a 3-year run right now. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, Mr. President signed the budget into law. I think it was last week, but deferred the signing of the finance bill because the president had some comments and reservations about some of the provisions in the finance bill, and requested that the National Assembly make some corrections and also to provide the avenue for consultation with government agencies. I thought it was instructive, really interested in consultation with government agencies, but for the rest of us, we are also interested in consultation with the public. The National Assembly, the Senate, and the House of Rep on the 21st of December published the finance bill as was presented to them by the executive, and the